Social Perspectives, hosted by J. Gentile Everett, is brought to you by the Renaissance Ministry.
Hello and welcome to Social Perspectives. I'm J. Gentile Everett. These are critical times for our country and our local communities. Crime and inflicted pain continue to plague our world. The political climate is bringing out violence and vandalism across many areas in our nation. And division among us is surely doing more harm than good. What should we as citizens of this great nation do to mitigate the mayhem and misery and lead in ushering peace, respect, love, and civility for all Americans? We'll answer some of these questions and others in our show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Today I come to you because of conscience. Conscience demands that we address the zeitgeist we find ourselves in socially and politically. So welcome back. We stand in the wake of another presidential election. And whether you are a Democrat, Republican, or independent, whatever the results of the elections happen to be, we all have to accept them and move on with our lives. Let's be clear. After the election, we will still have to go to work, care for our families, pay our bills, take vacations, and share America's terrain with other people who may be different from the way we are. Elections do not fundamentally change very much. They will change policies, approaches to social issues, but they do not change people, not one iota. The hearts possessed by all of us will not be altered by who occupies the White House or the governor's mansion. The emphasis placed on these elections are certainly important and significant because they will provide the ways that the social order of things will be structured and even executed. But the heart will remain the same. Love cannot be legislated. It cannot be placed in some amendment and voted into place. It cannot be sent in the mail. So whoever ends up serving as our next president will still have to deal with people and their idiosyncratic ways and thinking. However, there is nothing wrong with participating in the political process to voice your opinions about how you see the world, but more importantly, how you see other people. Yes, people like you and me. We all deal with pain and sickness and death. Like every other person in the world, it is important to note that it's perfectly all right to disagree with someone about their views on social issues. But should our disagreements cause us to become enemies and haters of each other, does it mean we must not seek to hurt or kill each other? Our disagreements are temporary at best. Our hate is temporary. Our disdainment for others is temporary. Because in the end, we will all capitulate to the power of death. Rich or poor, death in life is the most common denominator. No one should be happy that the former president and current Republican nominee for the presidency, life was threatened by an assassination attempt. Whatever his policies, he has the right to express them as well as promote them. Likewise, Democrats have switched their candidate to a woman of color. Of course, we know many Americans abhor the prospect of her becoming president. I get that. But does that mean she has to be called a Jezebel or hoe or some other racial epithet from the 1950s, like being a colored woman? These languages of a Mephistophelian rhetoric or wicked expression of antiquity designed to demean and discredit people, this is not good. This is not a show about social justice or politics. It's about decency and social decorum and the promotion of civility in our political discourse. We can do this. We can overcome the obstacles that we do have now. We have a history where we have overcome obstacles. And as Americans, we can overcome this challenge by bringing equality in all things to the global community, by being the people who set a glaring example of what it means to have actual equality. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Gentile. You got to catch Social Perspectives each Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. on WBTW News 13. We got a lot of happenings that we're going to be featuring. You got to check it out each Sunday evening, 11:30 p.m. on WBTW News 13.
Hello. If you or someone you know is in need of a wedding cake, reach out to CB Treats, currently located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. CB Treats provides custom designed, delicious cakes and top-tier customer service. In addition to wedding cakes, CB Treats also provides elegant custom cakes for large events. For more information, you can call or text CB Treats at 803-386-8472. Again, that's 803-386-8472. Or you can reach CB Treats by email at cbtreats@live.com. That's cbtreats@live.com. CB Treats, making your cake dreams come true. Hunger has never been more satisfied as it is when it tastes like the delicious Southern cuisines from the Clinton Inn. Here, flavor is never compromised and palate satisfaction always meets the expectation. The weekly buffet features all of the special dishes to which we have grown accustomed. Come dine with us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy a scrumptious meal at the Clinton Inn in Laurinburg, North Carolina, where food has never tasted so good.
Welcome back to Social Perspectives. First, I say to you, my brothers and sisters in the Southern Baptist Convention, we continue to pray for you as you traverse through the paths of political insight and find theological agreement with it. Sometimes in our lives, our leaders of God will find themselves in the throes of confusion and indecision. Often it obscures our vision and obstructs our purpose. But I am optimistic because my faith leads me to that plateau that suggests to me we will ultimately find common ground if we continue to pursue it. Now I will pivot back to the conditions of our social and political pursuits as they relate to our civility. It is my sincere prayer that those of us with a platform to disseminate information will first and foremost use that platform to bridge gaps that divide us and not pontificate a rhetoric that further splits our communities. Without appearing to sound too sermonic, I believe God has made our nation the most powerful and the richest nation on the planet for a reason. He is trusting us to be equitable and open to people of all nations, colors, creeds, or backgrounds. He implored his infinite wisdom and said, America, you will be the beacon of light that reflects the vast peoples of the earth. All freedoms in personal and religious pursuits, all positive ideas that are birthed in the human psyche, God gives to America. It is up to us to make sure that the freedom that we house is a freedom that should be shared, because God wants us to understand no one people have a monopoly on God. It is possible that America is the present example of his teaching about the Tower of Babel, like he did in the Old Testament. It's very logical to me. God is saying he is too big for one group to lay claim on his totality. Further, we should not be open to the idea that God is only a God of the institution, but God is a God of the individual. Well, that's my message about God in this segment. The question before us is, America, can these bones live? America's bones of hatred, America's bone of divisive rhetoric, America's bones of ugliness, the bones that we have in America that allow justice to be bought and love denied. These are the bones with which we must grapple. We must ask ourselves, can these bones live? If we're going to preserve what our great forefathers put together that we call the Constitution, we will come to the decision that one day, somewhere in their psyche, they discovered that slavery was not fair because all men were created equal. Somewhere along the way, someone was blessed with the aptitude and the temerity to stand against Jim Crow in the South, and equal rights from the equal rights era began to take shape. It was because somebody decided that those bones could live. But for those bones to live, people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, and others had to die for America to get these bones to live. Hearts may not have changed, minds may not have changed, but at least behavior in the public forum in some small way has changed. The marginalized are at least respected enough to not be called demeaning epithets to their faces like they had to accept in days gone by. Interracial couples are free to live and express their love for each other without being denied hotel accommodations and be subjected to the violence of the past. That's why I say to all, we have been hurt by attitudes and bigotry from people of all ethnicities, but we can, and I believe we will, ultimately get to an America that actually exemplifies the country we were called to be, rather than the country with ubiquitous infights, battling for power instead of fighting for all of its people. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We congratulate Gentile on his Jazz Award from the Kennedy Center for his amazing jazz album, Finally All of Me. He recently had his music played alongside Oscar Peterson, and his music is played in rotation at Tiffany stores and outlets. Stream Gentile's album, Finally All of Me, on all streaming platforms today.
Welcome back to our final segment. I have been giving you information about our political zeitgeist, the social order, social justice, and calling on all people to engage in civil discourse in all things. It's a show of great seriousness. We're going to close our show tonight on a note of levity. We're going to have some laughter with our good friends from the metropolis city of Laurinburg, Tracy Williams and Bishop Terrence Williams. Check it out. We'll be right back. We have Bishop Terrence Williams, along with Mrs. Tracy Williams, a powerful couple of persuasion. And they're going to share some of their views with our audience tonight about marriage, politics, social interaction, and perhaps a host of other things. First, I'm going to ask the bishop, since she told me to ask you first. So I'm going to ask you first. Tell me a little bit about what you think of marriage to Sister Tracy.
Oh.
Yes, not in general, but to her.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. Well, I always say that she is the woman that God gave me.
Okay.
But then I go back and I start thinking about all the times I cried and I prayed for her. I used to literally live in Charlotte at the time and would run back and forth and sneak and stay at a house and all that type of stuff. And then I figured out that I don't know if really God gave it to her, but If I had to really describe it, ain't no woman like the one I got.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful
Good
way.
answer. You
That's a
can go
good
home.
answer.
You
She
can go home
and-
tonight.
Okay, good
All
deal.
right.
Now you tell me.
Being married to Mr. Williams is very interesting.
Okay.
Seriously, I have learned a lot over the years. In the beginning, it was not like that because I wanted to send him back home to his mother the first week.
I understand.
But over time, over the years, it's been very interesting. It's been a journey. I really learned a lot from him. After the fights, the arguments, and all that. But we survived. We're still here together.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that the first couple of years of marriage is, I wanted her to be like me.
I see.
And then the next couple of years, she wanted me to be like her.
Oh, okay.
And then we went through a couple of years that we didn't want to be like each other
I
because
understand.
when she became me and I became her, then we still
Didn't like that either.
We didn't like that either.
And now these last years, we don't care. We married. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody going nowhere. We
I
here.
see.
We in. And so
yeah,
it's been working for the last 28, 29 years.
Long time.
See, that's how it is. You just forget how long you've been together.
Well, that's a good
After
thing.
a while, it
That's a
doesn't
good
even
thing.
matter.
When you are able to forget how long you've actually been together, I
Mm.
mean that's a sign of a good thing.
Well, something is by force and not choice.
Oh my goodness, that's a special word.
Yeah. He been
Are we
forced.
supposed to read something into that?
No, it doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
No,
But that's a good
he's
thing.
not.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's true.
Yeah, I paid $60 for him. He's not going.
Oh,
anywhere.
60 whole dollars.
$60.
Oh my.
But with a trade-in clause.
With- I guess y'all can see this is y'all are a comical couple. But that's a good thing because I think what makes this good is you have laughter
Definitely.
and you have a lot of joy. You're able to look back over it now and
That's
laugh.
what attracted me to him. He was so hilarious. He was
Okay.
so funny. And
But it's amazing that I never thought I was funny.
Oh.
So I don't know whether she was laughing at me or with me.
He was very hilarious, and that's why I kind of started liking him
Okay.
a lot. Because if he can make me laugh, let's see how long can this laughter last. And he's been doing okay.
Well, let me just tell you about that. I do have a philosophy that I like to share with couples. And people come to me about marriage and
Mhm.
should they marry this person, should they marry that person. My first instinct and impulse is marry someone who makes you laugh.
Definitely.
That's the one thing that I try to encourage everybody to do because if you marry someone because of the way they look, that's going to change.
Right.
If you
right.
marry someone because of their anatomical structure and
Right.
physique, that's going to change.
Yeah.
But that's a satirical wit
Yeah.
that someone may have that keeps you laughing and keeps you
Right.
having fun.
Right.
I think that's the real key to a relationship. It looks like y'all have that.
And I don't know if we have it or not. I'm just,
I'm looking at it.
I'm just saying, I don't know what she's laughing at because I don't think I'm funny. But now that I know that was the driving factor of
Yeah.
us connecting, I guess I go with
Well, that's a good thing.
I mean, he liked me. He looked at me. He was listening after me in church.
Oh, he
That's
was
where it
listening out
started.
here. And,
In
and
church.
he was preaching, wasn't he?
He had no. He was.
He hadn't
he was
started
an
preaching
atheist.
yet. He was an atheist.
But he was okay. Tell the truth. Let's be honest. You was listening after me in church. Am I right about it? Yes, you
It's
were.
okay if
You
you're
was
right.
looking at me
Free
as I
yourself.
watched up on the choir. Yes, you were.
Free
Yes, you.
yourself. Free yourself.
You
Okay.
told me you were. But actually, when I saw him, we weren't even dating yet. When I saw him, and I knew that was gonna be my husband, I was like,
Oh, my.
I don't know him.
And you were in church.
His little, I was outside. You were inside. I was outside. His little suit was, kind of high water. But I was like,
Oh, my.
I was like.
But you were able to look beyond all of that. You
I
saw
did. I
the
looked
guy.
past that.
You saw the guy. You liked the guy.
Yes.
So,
He was
okay.
handsome,
Okay.
and and then he was
And then-
liking me.
And she thought I was connected to Mike Tyson too. So
Mike Tyson.
The
Well, I used
boxer.
to
I'm a
box,
boxer fan.
yeah.
Oh, as am I. But I'm trying to figure out how did you get this?
I was in love with Mike Tyson. I
Okay.
was back in his heyday. I was, and I found out that he was a boxer.
Oh, you were a boxer.
yes.
Yes,
I
and
didn't know this.
Yes, he was a
All
boxer.
this time I've known you, I didn't know that.
Yes.
And he was in the military, and I saw some pictures. I was like, Mike Tyson.
Oh.
I'm like,
I just
Okay.
took a picture with him. I didn't
You
know.
just took a picture, you didn't know it, just took a picture with
But
him.
I thought he could, connect me with Mike Tyson. So
So you were gonna be a conduit to Mike Tyson.
That's what it is. That's what love got to do with it.
What love?
Right.
but anyway, yeah.
But you made it through all that. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that we have reached your heart, your mind, because it is important for us to understand we all have to live together. We can coexist, even with our differences. We can still be respectful and civil to each other. So I want you to help me spread this message. I'm just trying to get our world to one place, and that is we can be better. And we can be a better society, and we can be more excited about each other progressing and becoming successful. We do not need to call each other names. We need to be encouraged by all people, because when we do that, everybody grows. Please help us with our telecast to continue to spread this message of love. Give to this cause. The ways you can give are at the bottom of the screen. Please be touched and help us let the world know that there are some people in the world still trying to leave it better than they found it. Until the next time, I'm J. Gentile Everett. I'll see you another time on Social Perspectives. Be blessed.
Social Perspectives is sponsored by ordinary people who believe in spreading love to all because everyone deserves to be loved. Please support our show with your tax-deductible gifts. You can cash out our work at $RENMI15, again $RENMI15, and help us reach the world.